Welcome to a special circumstances review. Today we're actually going to take a look at another flashlight, as you might have guessed. In this case, this is a light from FourSevens. This is an updated version of their Quark Turbo, and this one here is the Quark 2A. 2A means that it uses two AA batteries. This is their most updated version of this particular light. By saying that, I mean that it actually is using the most recent version of the Cree LED, and this is the XP-G2, if I recall correctly. This particular LED offers about a 20% increase in brightness, and really no drawbacks, which is kind of nice. So this is the first one of the turbos that I've actually reviewed here, and I gotta say it's a really nice package. Very nicely done. The machining is impeccable. It has a kind of a triangular barrel, these flats cut into it here, and it gives a pretty nice grip. This is a good size actually with the AA, the two AA batteries like this. The pocket clip is super nice. This is actually really good to see. I really like seeing a nice clip like this. It's also very much part and parcel of the light itself. It actually goes around the entire body, so it's not like a clip-on. So it's not going to come off. Really nice, good spring tension on that. I mean, I can barely. There we go. Really holds on nicely to your pants pockets. Typical FourSevens tactical tail cap here. It has a lanyard attachment point. Obviously, this will not tail stand. I mentioned this in my previous FourSevens review. I would really like to see them do a guarded tail cap on their so-called tactical tail caps, just because it's so easy to accidentally activate it, and I'm not a big fan of that. They say that it's because of access or speed and ease of access. I really don't think that's an issue with a properly designed guarded tail cap. This works, don't get me wrong, but it is fairly easy to hit. Switch action is otherwise very good. It's smooth, decent pressure required, and an audible click once it actually is on all the way. Of course, a forward clicky, which is pretty much de rigueur for tactical flashlights. Nice heat sinking fins here on the side. Knurling is grippy, but not too aggressive. Gives you just the right amount of grip, and is not going to rip the crap out of your clothes. This is a really nice reflector too, nice and deep. Part of that is the turbo designation. Of course, it's geared for throw, but it still has a decent amount of spill, even with this smooth reflector like this. Glass lens, anti-reflective coated. All the lettering is nice and sharp. I mean, the machining quality on these FourSevens lights it's just really good. I'm going to take the tail cap off here, and it's not a lockout tail cap as such. Well, you probably could, because the threads are anodized on the inside of the tail cap. For some reason, they didn't anodize the threading here, and I'm not quite sure why they didn't, honestly. It is square cut, which is nice. I kind of wish they'd anodized it. That would also have made it, one, it would have made the threads more durable. It also would have meant that you could lock it out real easy. It's a single O-ring, but it does a nice job. It keeps the light from having water get into it if it's raining, or even if it gets dunked in a few feet of water. It's fine. Of course, the two AA's comes with two AA's. Also comes with a pouch, fairly typical belt pouch. I'm generally kind of underwhelmed with the pouches, but this is serviceable. Could it be better? Oh, absolutely. But you know, it's free. It comes with the light, so you know, take it for what it's worth. Kind of like advice, right? It's worth what you paid for it. Anodized on the inside here, as far as the barrel goes. Forward threads. These are, of course, not anodized at all, but that's also because this is part of the mode changing mechanism. This is exactly the same as it was on the other quarks that I reviewed previously. And it revolves basically around, you have several different modes that are programmable by doing a specific sequence of loose tightening and loosening the head, and you switch between two selected modes by respectively tightening and loosening the head. This works, but I'm not that big a fan of it. I have and it's really, honestly, there's no real no really good reason for it other than just personal preference. I really just, it just icks me out to loosen anything on my light in order to use the light. It just makes me twitch. It's never a good thing. Does it work? Of course it does. This is on full. I have it set for the lowest setting. It works really nice, I mean, honestly, but it's not particularly accessible. If you're using the light with one hand, it's kind of, I mean, you can kind of do it, but it's really not something that's easy to do, especially not with a longer light, because you'd have to switch your hand position quite a bit back and forth. There's also strobe settings, SOS, beacon, and stuff like that, but they're all programmable. I honestly don't use them that much. If there was a quicker way of accessing it other than having to turn the head, I might use it, but even then, it's kind of not that big a deal for me. The levels that you can program in are pretty nice. They're nicely spaced. There's a really nice difference between the top full blast setting and then the lowest setting. So that's really nice, and you can see all the specs and stuff in the actual text portion of this review, and that will be linked at the bottom of this video. So really a nice light, other than the few caveats that I just mentioned as far as the interface goes and, you know, minor details. But for the price these things go for, this is a hell of a deal, and the machining quality really is excellent on these. I really like the hand feel, is just fantastic, and given the output on these, I mean, I would have no qualms using this as a primary light as far as just the quality of light that it puts out, which is really quite nice too. I mean, I can see if you can even see this. You can kind of see that in the video. Yeah, it's got a really nice, well-defined hotspot and a smooth transition into the spill, and there's really not a whole lot of artifacts in it. The light is not as blue as it appears in the video. It's actually very, very close to just being a pure white. Very little blue and very little green in the tint on the lower setting. And again, we can try it. So that's the low setting. You see, this is a fairly significant difference, but the tint really doesn't change much at all, which is nice. So overall, it's really quite a nice little light. The few caveats I mentioned with the threading not being anodized and, you know, the interface as far as this goes, I admit being a sucker for the magnetic control rings and stuff like that. They just work so much nicer than this kind of thing. I feel like I'm compromising the waterproof qualities of the light every time I do this. So, personal preferences, but that's pretty much all it is. Other than that, I mean, I gotta say, again, as previously, I've always been impressed with, particularly the quality of the construction that FourSevens does with these. It really is quite good. You can even see here on the inside. We'll take a look inside the head. You can see the contacts here. They're nicely done up as well. So you can't really go wrong with them as far as quality goes. The question really is just, does the interface work for you? If the answer to that is yes, then by all means buy a FourSevens light. I don't think you'll be disappointed with them if you can live with the interface. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching and have a great day.